There are several fine young men who I'm sure are gonna go far. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ramones.
Aye, these minstrels will soothe my jangled nerves.
I'd just like to say this gig sucks.
Hey, up yours, Springfield.
1, 2, 3, 4. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Bernsey. Happy birthday to you.
Go to hell, you old bastard.
Hey, I think they liked us.
Have the
VHS KvLT.
killed.
Oh, sir, those aren't...
Do as I say.
I don't wanna watch shit that's on TV. There's nothing on the radio to inspire me outside of the wall. I gotta break free. Oh, what would Joey Ramone do? What would Joey Ramone do? What would Joey Ramone do? Oh, what would Joey Ramone do? What would Joey Ramone do? What would Joey Ramone do?
I'm so important. I'm a little bit of sugar, a little bit of Brook candy. That's what Zoom says. You gotta pay attention to
That
it.
doesn't really sound like something it would say.
Wow, that's something Brook Candy says.
I'm gonna be drunk as a skunk.
Drunk as a skunk. That's illegal. You're gonna weaken your immune system and get corona.
Yeah, but I don't go anywhere.
Oh.
It's the only way I'll get it is if Court gets in it from her weekly excursion to the grocery store, or from
Or
her
work
weekly
for an
excursion to
hour.
work. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the funny thing. She's there by herself.
That's so weird.
Yeah, she only sees someone when she gets there because they like trade off.
It's fucking weird. I don't get it. Well, welcome to the VHS cult. I'm
Needles
Kyle.
and pins,
That's
I'm
Neil
Sean.
Pins.
I mean Joey Ramone. We watched
Joey
the
Ramone.
thing.
This episode might be a weird one because I've been feeling very emotional.
Well, why don't we talk about when we play World of Warcraft instead of when we're
Because I don't want to burden Ryan with the.
he's not paying. He doesn't pay attention to you anyways.
Oh no, it's just like when you wake up from a dream and you feel like you lost something. I feel like that all the time now. Actually, I guess I feel like my
That's
entire
feels.
life.
I gotta be honest with you. That's adulthood for me. Like that's how I felt. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. I feel like my entire life I've been searching for something or someone, and I'm exhausted from it. The other night, like not last time, but the night before, I remembered the smell, I remembered the smell of like the first time I had sex with my girlfriends, like the sweat and like her perfume and stuff like that. And it created like this weird feedback loop where I thought I was smelling it, but I wasn't, but I was just remembering it. And it was making remembering it, and I was getting like all overwhelmed from it. So I decided to just cry for a little bit.
Man, this quarantine's not really doing much. It's not doing wonders for your mental health.
I don't know. I think it's separate from the quarantine. This just kind of happens to me like every other month or so. I'll just be like, it's fucking over. There's nothing. What's going on? I'm just barely hanging on. So what I've done to try to fix it is, I guess, I've turned the corner on my media consumption. So instead of watching like murder stuff, now I'm only watching like cute stuff about love and the triumphs of the human spirit.
I'm watching a bunch of old Korean romance movies from the 90s.
Kind of. It has been mostly Japanese stuff. So obviously the Studio Ghibli movies, they have the right blend of like
some of those Studio Ghibli's do.
Well, they have the right blend of like, I'm not going like full like wimp watching bad movies or anything. Studio Ghibli and Japanese movies have the right blend, I think, of like melancholy with also positivity. So Studio Ghibli, watching the old Taika movies, stuff like that. But there's two Japanese movies I want to highlight, and they're both really pretty good.
First one is called Godzilla.
First one's called 37 Seconds, written and directed by Hikari. I'm going to watch all of her other movies too, because she seems like she's a pretty dope director. Also, that's another thing about Japanese film. It's gotten a lot better in like the last decade now that they're letting women direct films, as you might imagine. But this movie's about...
it's weird how when new voices are allowed to speak.
It's crazy. It's about a girl with cerebral palsy. She's got a very loving but overbearing.
Wait,
mother.
Kyle, I gotta stop you before we get too far into this. The important question is it available in dub?
It's on Netflix, so probably.
Oh, really? I was trying to be a sarcastic asshole. Well, I mean,
no.
Parasite's on Hulu, and it's only subtitles, so maybe Netflix is only.
Yeah,
Like,
but
you gotta
Hulu's-
learn to read, you little bitches.
Hulu's like taking like a specific like marketing stand against like using dubs for it, where they're trying to be like Hulu respects the artist, blah blah blah, and it's like shut up, stupid corporation. But Netflix don't give a
You can't
fuck.
just take a win when you get it, can you?
No, I don't give a fuck about Hulu champion anything. Hulu
I'm not talking about them championing
dick.
it, but I'm hoping they do. I need some money.
Yeah, Hulu sponsor us. Yeah, but on Netflix, I don't think they care. I think they pretty much dub everything. But
Wait, aren't those Godzilla animes only available in subtitle?
No, there's definitely a dub for it.
Is there? I think you might be right. Maybe you're right. I think Jamie started to watch one. They're really weird.
Yeah, they're not very good because we got to save the entire budget for when Godzilla shows up. So everything else is just close-ups of mouths moving. You know, that
it's
old
just
anime
it's just
trick.
like a live action movie.
Yeah, so she got loving, overbearing mother. She's technically a successful manga artist, but her cousin, who's ridiculously cute and clout chasing, is taking all the credit for the manga. So she says, "Fuck that! I'm gonna start drawing hentai." And then she goes to present some of her work to a hentai studio, and the boss of the hentai place, she's like, the sex just doesn't seem real. You haven't had sex. You need to get some life experience. And then that sets her on her way to, just a journey of self-discovery, sexuality, individuality, and it's great. It's just a good movie. My only problem with it is it works perfectly within the confines of the film to be the impetus for her to go on the journey. But from my experience with hentai, I don't know if having
any of it seems realistic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if having real sexual experience is helpful for hentai, because it's all about like giant demon dicks and huge milking breasts. And
Yeah, honestly, it really seems like it's just most of it's male driven.
Yeah, well, there's a push now to have adult content that appeals to women too, especially in Japan where everyone is sexually frustrated. But yeah, it's still like I don't know about all that. I think you just use your imagination.
A lot of it just seems to come from like sexual frustration.
I guess. I mean, you could say that about a lot of erotic art, I guess.
Well, I would say that about a lot of erotic art.
I don't know. I'm sure it comes from different places for different artists. I'm not trying to talk shit about hentai. It's not bad or anything. It's just, I don't know. It seems to be more in the realm of imagination than it is realistic sexual relationships.
Well, that's true. Again, that's true of like almost all erotica.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Not
obviously not 50 Shades to Grey. That was very realistic.
Oh, right. Obviously not the current trend in Western pornography where everyone has sex with their step siblings. That's very realistic. And then the other Japanese movie I want to highlight is Hirokazu Kurita, who is a well-known Japanese director. His most recent movie, Shoplifters, got like a lot of acclaim when it came out last year, and it's a pretty good happy movie too, but it has a devastating ending, so it doesn't quite fit the criteria of what I'm into right now. But this other film is called Our Little Sister. What it is 3 really close Japanese sisters find out their estranged father died. He also happened to have another daughter, so now they have a 4th sister. They all decide to live together. All they're doing is like hanging out, eating good food, sleeping in comfy beds, learning about falling in and out of love with boys, loving each other and stuff. That's it. There's like no conflict or anything. It's just about love. It's amazing.
Oh, it's Japanese Little Women.
Yeah, it fucking rules. It's the best. There's like fireworks and like, I don't know. It's great. They like harvesting plums to make some crazy like plum wine. And I don't know. It just rules. I just want to go live in Japan.
I hate to tell you this, but it's not exactly
it's not all sunshine and roses, huh?
Yeah, no.
Not all cherry blossoms and sunshine.
And, but whimsical.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm into like whimsical romantic stuff right now. Like, I'm just barely hanging on. It's all I got, and then just trying to find like comedy to watch and stuff. And luckily this week you also watched Rock and Roll High School, which is a very low stakes movie and also just kind of makes you feel good, even though it's stupid as hell.
Yeah, it is really dumb. There's almost something there, but no.
It's 1980. Welcome to Rock and Roll High School.
Rock and
I am Miss Togar, and I am the new principal of this school. And who are you?
I'm Riff Randall, rock and roller.
The only girl I ever dream about at night is Riff.
I've done more detentions than anyone in the school's history.
Are you a virgin? How about a cheerleader? Nice set of pom-poms.
Term wanted Riff, but Riff wanted to live a rock and roll fantasy to the music of her favorite group. The hottest band this side of the Iron Curtain, the Ramones!
You have managed to upset the entire school with this godforsaken noise. Things sure have changed since we got kicked out of high school.
Hey, come on, you guys, follow me into the school!
They tried to stop their music, but the kids got wrecked and rocked the school.
I just talked to the chief of police. He's going to storm the building.
Rock and Roll High School, the school where the students rule. Could your school be next?
I think I recently reported by Joe Bob Briggs, he's let everyone know that John Waters is doing great, and he's been doing a lot of acid in quarantine. And I was like, maybe I should do that.
Where are you gonna get it?
From John Waters.
Yeah, I don't think he's distributing that shit. You know, from what I understand, it's actually really hard to get acid these days. Like real legitimate acid.
It's not. I can get you acid, no problem. No problemo. I don't know. I don't know how you test the quality of acid. You know how you can like test pills for like
right.
when it comes to Molly and shit.
Well, that's the thing.
Easy.
From what I understand, a lot of the stuff that's being passed off as acid is not actually acid a lot of the time.
I don't know. I've never had
another
any
psychotropic.
I've never had any problems with any acid I've had where it was obviously a different substance, but that's completely different when it comes to Molly or pills or stuff like that, where it's clearly cut with meth and stuff. That's happened several times, but with acid, it's always been like, yeah, it's pretty much acid, I think. But who knows? Maybe I've also done PCP and I don't know it. There's been some pretty dark acid trips. Not dark, but pretty wild ones.
There's a character named after PCP in this.
Angel Dust, yeah. With their groupie. So what's Rock and Roll High School all about? It's a Ramones fanatic.
Dee Dee Ramone trying to score tricks.
We'll talk a little bit about what Dee Dee was up to doing the filming of this.
You know what's funny? I was thinking about it. Like, there's two bands that for some reason I know a lot of shit about, and it's the Ramones and the Beatles.
The Ramones are fucking interesting. The Beatles are interesting too, but in like, I don't know, they got their shit together too quick.
I don't know that. I mean, I feel like they hid their shit way better than.
Well, yeah, I guess that's part of it too. The Ramones, like their attitude and their music, kind of incorporated them being like. It was a lie that they were like tough street guys, but Dee Dee was a junkie at least.
I heard they were all brothers. Did you know that? Could you imagine being the only sister in the Ramones?
Yeah, she says that like a sexual fantasy too, that's totally in line with today's pornography. Ramones fanatic and delinquent Riff Randall battles it out with the strict new principal of Vince Lombardi High School, Miss Togar, with help from the Ramones
and Clint Howard
and Eagle Bauer. Why is it called Vince? Vince Lombardi's like a football dude, right?
Yep. Because you know how
I guess it's all American shit.
The American naming their schools other dumb shit.
Yeah, that makes sense. So
it's
this
kind of
is
like there's like a John Waters feel to this movie. We kind of.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, John Waters absolutely could have directed this movie. It would have been a little bit grosser, but
and a little bit better.
Yeah, I would love to see John Waters like.
Hey, there's a spiritual sequel.
No, there's
out there called Rockaway Beach.
Well, there's a direct sequel to this movie. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
What is there?
Yeah, you're gonna love to hear about it. This is the twilight of the Ramones' career, unfortunately. It's only 79, like I said, so it's only been about 4 years that the Ramones existed. But they are in the process of recording End of the Century with Phil Spector now.
Yeah, it goes well.
Well, that ends up being their highest charting album of all time, but still doesn't sell very well. And then after that, the Ramones kind of give up and go, well, I guess we'll tour forever, and now it's just kind of a job. They kind of give up on ever being mainstream successful or anything like that, which is kind of like a pipe dream anyways, and not very punk rock to care about. That's the thing about the Ramones, is they're so punk rock, so ahead of the punk rock curve that they're not even really punk rock. Also, you'll notice in the film there is no Tommy Ramone, but they have Marky Ramone, Mark Bell, on the drums. Mark Bell is from Richard Hell and the Voidoids, which is another early punk band. And he looks like Johnny Ramone. They look exactly the same. This film was directed by Alan Arkush. He directed a bunch of Ramones music videos around the same time. And since this, he's basically just directed every TV show ever.
There's a lot of Law and Orders out there.
Yeah, did you? There's also a sneaky little credit for Mr. Joe Dante as director. Would you like to learn more?
Yeah, why not? I'm here.
All right. On the last day of shooting, Alan Arkush was hospitalized for exhaustion. He was partying too hard with the Ramones, most likely.
PCP.
And Joe Dante was tapped to direct the remaining scenes, which were the scenes in the gym where PJ Soles sings her version of Rock and Roll High School, the long take in the bathroom, and the scene involving the telephone booth.
That explains the weird-ass take for Rock and Roll High School where she sings it.
Well, she had to, the version of Rock and Roll High School that she sings, it had to become a different version because she was unable to sing the original version. Because, I mean, like, Joey Ramone is not necessarily known as an amazing vocalist.
He is a surprisingly good vocalist.
Yeah, he's kind of hard to copy. This is the only ever production where director Joe Dante is billed as a writer. And Dante and Arkush, the director, they're friends.
Was he the one that's like, yeah, let's just have him randomly break out into like a gym routine, a gymnastics routine, okay?
No, the person who's responsible for most of the gags and the camp in the movie is one Mr. Roger Corman.
Yeah, well, I saw that name on the time.
Hell yeah. Yeah, this is a Roger Corman production. Stupid.
Well, you can't tell because there's not that many tits in it.
Well, this is very specifically a teen exploitation movie, like which they used to make in the 60s and 70s quite a bit.
Yeah, but they usually throw a couple boobs in there for that.
Yeah, but at this point with the MPAA, they weren't able to do it and still get like a general audience rating, so they had to keep it.
Meatballs era is over.
Yeah. Roger Corman was looking to produce a modern teen film similar to the ones he had made in his early career during the 60s, with the focus on current music of the time.
We're going to make Blue Hawaii, but with Joey Ramone.
The Ramones were not the first choice. We'll get to that in a second. The notoriously cheap Roger Corman, also a publicity genius, invited music journalists to work as extras in return for getting to be on the set and interview the principal actors. So he's got like a little revenue stream going. Roger Corman is like a true hustler, man. He's got hustle.
He's out there wheeling and dealing.
Yeah, he should have been president. And then with regards to that, there's an inside joke in the film and how he's notoriously stingy. The beginning of the movie, the opening, there's like birds in the background, right, that are chirping. They're actually birds going cheap, 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 cheap. So that's fun. They got him. Who's in this movie besides the Ramones? Well, we got PJ Soles, who's Riff Randall. Famously, she's also in Carrie as a teenager and Halloween as a teenager. But by the time of making this film, she is 29 years old.
Yeah, I mean, no one really looks the right age in this movie.
Correct. She's a babe, though. I like her. She's got that. I think it's a really good look. You can see like your ribs and your breastplate from the front. Like she's so thin. I'm actually like into that. I think that's a pretty dynamic look.
The one thing I gotta say is like she, no rhythm at all. Like
she's
like, bopping along to nothing.
Yeah, she's like seems to be like super white girl. Like she can't sing a Ramones song, can't really dance or anything. But you know,
like maybe brings her own jar of mayonnaise when she goes to the baseball games. What I'm saying. Yeah,
she seems fun. The only scene, it seems like she's never wearing a bra except for the scene where she's just in her bra and panties. So I think that's cool too. I like her energy.
Is that her choice though, or is that a Ward decision?
Well, check this out. She actually purchased her own wardrobe because the film's budget was so low that they could not afford decent clothes for her. So
Oh my god, that's
her
ridiculous.
choice. Yeah, she spent her entire salary, which is only $2,100, less than we're gonna get from the government. God damn it! Or more.
Actually, you're not gonna get that much.
More than we're gonna get from the government. I mean,
Yeah.
is what I meant. Yeah, whatever.
I got 3 kids, so I'm gonna collect off their asses.
Oh right. I thought you. Oh, is it every American citizen?
Yeah, well, it's $1,200 per adult, and then if you have kids, you get $500 each.
Oh, I should have been having some kids.
That's what I'm saying. You should have been busy in quarantine.
Look,
I'm already married. I got one wife. I can't do it, but you can spread far and wide.
I can. What's PJ Souls up to?
I gotta be honest. She might be past her baby making age. I don't want to be like a rude dude, but
79.
that's just the reality of it.
I guess she's probably pretty old now.
That was 40 years ago, dude.
Yeah. She's like 70 now. Huh. Time flies, you know? The red satin jacket she wore was $300 from Fred Siegel. According to Souls, Rod Stewart was at the store and wanted to buy the jacket, but she had claimed it before him.
Oh, what a dick! You know,
Rod Stewart's also he has that urban legend about his stomach getting pumped for having too much cum in it.
Oh yeah, Rod Stewart? I forgot about that. Is that Rod Stewart?
I think it's Rod Stewart, right?
I think it was Rod Stewart. We're gonna say it is.
Yeah, if not, I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
Fuck it. I don't give a shit.
It's just basically, I like that one because it's like
it's such a weird rumor.
Well, I like it because it's it's like those like fucking loser, shaggy haired chumps who think Led Zeppelin's the greatest band of all time in 1981, and like, oh, Rod Stewart's so gay. You know what I mean? Like, that's absolutely where it comes from.
Yeah, that's right.
And so you fucking listen to fucking Hobbit music, you dummy. Yeah,
it's good Hobbit music though.
I don't.
Here comes Gollum. Oh,
I don't like Led Zeppelin at all.
There's like 2 songs.
Yeah, the Ramones exist specifically because Led Zeppelin was
That's
a
fair.
bunch of English bastards masturbating on stage. PJ Souls had never heard the Ramones before being cast in the film, and she was given their music to listen to. She admits she didn't like it initially, but after her enjoyment of working with them, she became a big fan of theirs. I don't understand.
That's the problem with the Ramones. They just had to meet everybody in the world, and everyone would become fans.
My thing is, the Ramones were absolutely the most like mainstream, marketable, possible punk band that could have came out of the early punk scene. I have no idea how they did not actually fucking take off because all their songs are just fucking pop songs.
Yeah, I mean, it is really like they're just playing a very like hard-nosed version of like 50s rock and roll.
Yeah, they're just doing like wall of sound Phil Spector shit, but like, oh, we're tough. You know what I mean? And they even have little uniforms like the Beatles when they first started.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're absolutely.
I mean, a lot of punk bands kind of have like that same like, you know what I mean? There's a uniform when you're in a punk band.
Yeah, I guess kind of. I mean, the Sex Pistols were obviously marketed by Malcolm McLaren, and then a lot of early English punk bands just kind of copied the Sex Pistols. But the Sex Pistols were copying Johnny Thunders from Johnny Thunders and the Heartbreakers, previously of the New York Dolls. He did that all on his own. So the punk look actually is organic. It's not completely privatized. It wasn't a corporate idealization of what punk was going to be. It's basically everyone copied Johnny Thunders. So to me, it's like, well, at least it's organic. And then the Ramones didn't even copy Johnny Thunders. They did have their own specific look where they just kind of looked like greasers. And
yeah,
then,
again, they're just playing like it really just felt like they were playing up a lot of the 50s shit.
Yeah, because I mean, that's what Joey Ramone's into. He's into like girl groups, doo-wop, Motown, and shit like that. And then Dee Dee liked punk. The other guys
and rap,
whatever. King Dee Dee, yeah, he's short-lived rap career. King Dee Dee, he couldn't rap.
I understood what they were saying. I couldn't do it, but I understood it.
Yeah, and he calls them all Negroes. So
I love those colored sons of bitches.
Yeah, we'll get to like how kind of weird the Ramones are at the end.
Oh my, they're so fucking weird.
Yeah. Yeah, so despite playing high school student, PJ Souls was 28 when the movie was filmed. She's 29 when it came out. And she's actually older than all the Ramones except for Johnny Ramone. But that's movies, you know what I mean? Like,
that's movie magic for you.
Yeah. Who else in the movie? Clint Howard playing Eagle Bauer. Clint Howard rules.
22?
What's crazy about Clint Howard, though, is because of his hairline, it's basically like there's this adult man who lives in the boys' bathroom at the high school. That's a little bit strange there. And then the only other actor that I care about in the film, Dick Miller.
No, Dick Miller. He's there for like 2 seconds.
Yep, he's the police chief.
I know it's been a long time since I saw this movie. I remember him being in it a lot more, but maybe I'm thinking of another Dick Miller movie.
Maybe
I thought he was the dad.
He just stands out because he's Dick Miller.
Yeah,
man, I love that. I love that Dick Miller movie.
My eyes just find Dick Miller.
He did improvise the following line, though. Those Ramones are ugly, ugly people.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, I like when they have to. PJ Souls has to work really hard to sell Joey Ramone as a sex symbol.
He's like a poem.
Yeah. Joey Ramone does have like a lot of like charisma and stage presence and stuff, but that's like only when he's performing.
Yeah, I honestly feel like you can tell he is bothered by his teeth.
Well, he's super uncomfortable with everything about his body.
Yeah,
and he's got completely debilitating OCD.
Oh shit! Yeah,
yeah. But originally,
also the KKK stole the baby away.
That song's about Johnny Ramone stealing his girlfriend.
Yeah, no shit, it is.
Yeah, because Johnny Ramone's a super right-wing conservative asshole. We'll get into more about the politics of the Ramone too, and how they are decidedly not punk. Originally, Todd Rundgren was to star as a musical act. Who the fuck is Todd Rundgren?
I don't know.
What are his hits?
God damn it. It looks like nothing I know.
Yeah, that's the thing is I tried to figure him out too. And I'd say I'm pretty well versed in musical history from like the 50s onwards. And Todd Rundgren, like the name sounds familiar, but I was like, I don't know any of these songs. So I think he must have been a flash in the pan 70s guys or 70 guy or something.
Like, yeah, we're gonna get him. But there's got to be a ton of people out there like, who the fuck are the Ramones?
Yeah, that's true. But nowadays, though, everyone knows who the fucking Ramones are.
Only because of the fucking shirt.
Yeah, but fucking that works, man. Shout out to Arturo Vega, the fifth Ramone. He did it.
Yeah, he's the only one that made him immortal.
Yeah.
That and maybe Blitzkrieg Bop.
Blitzkrieg Bop. Seems more like everyone. Yeah, I want to be sedated.
Yeah.
Blitzkrieg Bop and Sheena is a punk. Also, they couldn't come to a deal with Todd Rundgren. I guess he was doing too well in the 70s or something. And then next they tried Cheap Trick, but that didn't work out either. And I do know who Cheap Trick is. They have a song called He's a Whore, which is, I mean, not a very good song, but the punk band fronted by Steve Albini, Big Black, did a cover of He's a Whore. That's amazing. So everyone go check that out. Listen to He's a Whore by Big Black.
Christopher Big Black Boykin?
No, just Big Black.
Oh, sorry.
And then after that, talks were conducted with Warner Bros. Records, where Alan Arkush had a connection to decide on which band they should use in the film. First suggestion, Devo.
What?
Yeah, then Arkush said, nah, they have a little bit too much of their own concepts. You know,
there's no way Devo would have done this.
A little concept band. Devo appears in Neil Young's only directorial film.
Yeah, it's Neil Young.
It's also one of the weirdest movies of all time. We might watch it eventually. Another band considered for the movie, Van Halen.
Oh my god, I'm surprised they turned it down.
No, Warner execs actually kind of shot it down because they were worried that Van Halen were a little bit too raucous and difficult to handle. And then, so finally they're like, oh, we got the Ramones. Because the Ramones recorded for Sire Records, a subsidiary of Warner Brothers. And then Arkush, the director, is actually a fan of the Ramones. So he's like, oh, hell yeah, we can do the Ramones. And to this day, Todd Rundgren regrets passing up the role he was offered. Which is like, he
saw Rock and Roll High School and is like, man, I should have fucking did it.
That's what I mean. I think I don't think his career did very well.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like this, that's one thing you can say for the Ramones, right? Like every Ramones fan has probably seen this fucking movie.
Oh yeah, man, it's the Ramones. You check it out. When you first get into punk rock, you learn about the Ramones. You learn that they did like a fucking Hard Day's Night type of movie, and you're like, all right, I'll check it out. And then you watch Straight to Hell. Alan Arkush tried for several years to get the film produced under various rough draft titles. This also goes into them trying to figure out different bands to put in it. So some of the titles reflect who was going to be in the movie. But High School Spirit of 76, Heavy Metal Kids. I'm guessing that would have been the Van Halen one.
Oh, yeah.
Girls Gym. That might have been Van Halen one, too.
Hot for Teachers, probably.
California Girls might have been Van Halen. And Disco High, which, Diva?
Yeah, I guess.
Cheap Trick, I guess.
TiVo, I don't think they
Not
do.
Diva,
I don't know.
Yeah, the disco,
for a second, the Bee Gees were attached to this.
Yeah, the Disco High was Roger Corman's idea, so I mean, which makes sense because he's out of touch. You know, what I mean?
1979 Disco High. Ugh,
disco is just taking off, man. Disco's gonna live forever. So
obviously, like some of the story was based around like the band themselves and like what kind of work with the band. I'm kind of curious what they would do for like a Van Halen.
Same sort of shit, except for the scene in her bedroom would have been like way more predatory, I think.
Yeah, and less like kind of cute.
Yeah. I mean, it's already weird, but at least it's kind of like, yeah, the Ramones aren't very threatening. You know what I mean?
Not yet, anyways. Wait till we get to the end of this one.
Did you catch the little romantic theme song heard under the credits, starring sung by a little guy that you like, a little Paul McCartney fellow?
A little fellow named Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney and Wings. Yeah, so it's a song called "Did We Meet Somewhere Before?" It was originally written and recorded for the film Heaven Can Wait, but Warren Beatty decided not to use it. And then Alan Arkush was able to secure a deal where he was able to use the song for only $500, but McCartney insisted that he did not receive any screen credit because Paul McCartney hates the Ramones. He's like, yeah, you can have $500. Don't put my name anywhere on that trash.
He had seen Deathstalker as a problem.
Roger Corman, huh? I'm familiar with that Goomba. That's how Paul McCartney talks. Sorry, he's from New York. Hey, what's going on?
This is a hot day's night out here, eh?
Yeah, that's why he doesn't like the Ramones. They have a New York rivalry. Dee Dee Ramone, such a bad actor that his lines were cut from 7 down to 2. And
I can't think of the thing he says in the damn movie.
He's got 2 lines, and one's basically a variation of the other one, and it's great. So after the concert at the Roxy, when they're in the dressing room, he goes, "Hey, pizza!"
Oh yeah.
And then later on, when they're at school, he goes, "Hey, pizza! It's great. Let's dig in." So basically, it's the same line twice. He adds a little bit more to it. He really sells the pizza in the second one. It's great. Pizza's great.
You know, they really fucked up the rule of 3. You should have done that the third time.
Yeah,
right at the end of the movie, you could have walked past the principal in her straight jacket, bumbling to herself. Like, oh, pizza! I'm gonna go eat that shit real good.
The Ramones were paid a total of $25,000 for appearing in the film.
That might be the most they've ever made from a single project. So.
Yeah, but they still had to play shows in the Southern California area to help pay for their hotel bills and shit during the 21-day shoot.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, during that time period, Dee Dee Ramone got arrested for fighting with the roadie. He somehow was able to overdose in jail and then wound up in Cedars-Sinai Hospital with a $3,000 medical bill. So $25,000 is not going to swing it when Dee Dee's around.
That's why he's got that side hustle.
Selling drugs and prostitution?
That's the one, or 2.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a little bit like Roger Corman himself. A little bit more street level, but you know.
Yeah, no, he's more like... he's like more of a tragic figure than Roger Corman.
He really is. We'll talk about that later, especially about some of his political beliefs and how it may have affected his inability to express his sexuality. It's kind of sad.
He's like one of the maybe the biggest creative force behind the Ramones.
Yeah, he wrote most of their songs. A lot of people don't seem to realize that. It's mostly Dee Dee, Joey just sang. And Johnny kind of played guitar, but...
Well, we have a lot of bar chords.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, Dee Dee could play guitar as well as Johnny, so I'm pretty sure he did a lot of the guitar stuff, too. So the on-screen concert at the Roxy and also at the school, attended by actual Ramones fans whose uncontrollable raucous behavior terrified the lead, PJ Souls. She was like, oh, actual punk rockers. And at that concert at the Roxy, guess who you can see in the very front? Right in front of the Ramones, right in front of the stage. It's
Paul McCartney.
Oh, that'd be crazy if he was there. Nah, it's Darby Crash from the Germs. So that's cool. The seminal Los Angeles punk band, The Germs, Darby Crash. Yep, him and Pat Smear, Lauren and Doom.
You can tell I'm getting old because everything starts blending together.
Yeah, it's like so the Ramones existed, and then Sex Pistols happened. No, the truth is,
where were the Clash in there?
The best thing about the Ramones, best thing the Ramones ever did for punk is they toured so much, and they toured everywhere. Especially in the early years, it was like every city they went to, 5 punk bands sprung from like their shows. Like they would go play Los Angeles, and so you get fucking the Germs and Black Flag and all these bands coming out of it. So I'm not a particularly huge fan
it's
of the
basically
Ramones.
died in the last 5 or 6 years. So
what, local punk scenes?
Basically,
no, they're still thriving in certain areas. It's just like not ever going to be the same, you know. But yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of the Ramones myself personally, but I do appreciate everything they did with creating all the other bands that I am fans of. Like Dead Kennedys don't exist without the Ramones, you know, shit like that.
I still like the Ramones. There's one summer I listened to that compilation, like Strange Tales from the Ramones, for like, I don't know, 6 months straight.
That's the thing is,
started at the beginning of summer and didn't stop until Christmas.
Yeah, I like the Ramones, but it is just like summertime feel good pop music. You know what I mean? It's not exactly what I like about punk, but I appreciate everything they did for punk. The motorcycle ridden by the hall monitors was a death machine from the film Death Sport, which was produced by Roger Corman.
Gotta save that money.
Oh, I think he directed it too. But yeah, he held on to props like crazy. It's fucking all he did is just fucking save money. All right, so what did you think of the humanoid mice showing up? I like the first one at the concert, but then I don't like the mother mice at the end. So I think they should have just stuck with the first one at the concert.
Yeah, I think they're overplaying it.
I really like the prosthetics, like the actual like costume, but I don't think you needed the mama mice, because then it makes you feel sad when the mice get blown up. Also, the scene where she's talking about the science she's doing on the mice, and she's just holding that mouse by the tail for like so long.
I know, the entire time, like that mice is not having a good time.
Yeah, they're like torturing that mouse forever. But maybe that was before
people cared.
The ASPCA had to be on set or whatever.
Well, it was wolfing last week. They're like, all right, well, we got these wolves. If they get out of control, just fucking shoot them.
Yeah, it was fucking. We brought in these wild wolves. They have no idea where they're at, but you know, if they do anything crazy, shoot them. Fuck them.
Yeah, they're used to the forest and shit. So you know, this office building's probably fine.
Wait, man, it's the urban jungle. They know what it is.
They're basically dogs.
Yeah, they'll be fine. We got some trash they can eat. Let's talk about Eagle Bauer a little bit more. Clint Howard's character. Love him to death. Love Clint Howard. Amazing actor.
Howard's great at everything.
He's been in a lot of like fun horror movies. He's been in every single one of his brother's movies. Everyone loves Clint Howard. What is he supposed to be, a student, or is he?
Yeah, he's supposed to be a student.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think they even introduced him as a senior.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I want to say they do. I mean, it's hard in all these movies. You can never tell unless they specifically say.
Yeah.
Because like the freshman in this movie could be 27 years old.
Well, the guy that they have that plays the freshman that everyone keeps being like, he keeps pranking or whatever, he looks like he's 30 years old. So fucking, I don't know.
Like Clint Howard's giving him a rough time, but he's got a good 3 inches on Clint Howard.
Yeah. But so does that mean that Eagle Bauer is the template for like all the like cool high school senior movies that are gonna come along in like the 90s and shit? Like whatever, you know, Ryan Reynolds got started doing whatever that fucking
like Van Wilder shit.
Yeah, that shit. That Eagle Bauer's the template for that, right?
I mean, sort of. I don't think it's necessarily Eagle Bauer specifically, because I think there's a couple guys around this time period that came out around the same, like with the same idea. Yeah, but yeah, I think like Eagle Bauer and maybe like 2 or 3 other characters are definitely the template for the Van Wilders of the world.
Mm-hmm. Interesting sort of dynamic, or maybe even depth to the character of Eagle Bauer is, even though he seems to be running shit or whatever, when he gets wrapped up with white bread football loser guy later on, he's like psyched to like hang out with girls too, so he's also still kind of a little bit of a loser.
Right. Well, not only that too, but he's also like kind of like ends up being like kind of a good guy too. I don't know. It's like there's a weird relationship.
Well, I think Eagle Bauer's plan was to get football guy
together.
and Kate Rambeau together, and
Right.
he's like, yeah, Riff Randall, sure, whatever, you idiot. But he is also just like psyched to like hang out in that van and get drunk and take advantage of girls. So, but I mean,
that's a cool van.
That's 79. I fucking love that Warlock van.
I'm telling you, if I ever get rich enough to not have to give a fuck, I'm gonna get a panel van, and I'm gonna have someone airbrush the side of it with something crazy. It's gonna be a fucking Conan the Barbarian mural version of my family. I'm gonna be riding a tiger or some shit.
No, I don't even need to get rich enough to like not care. I'm gonna live in a van like that as soon as I get
that's
in
the
the
thing.
money.
I have a family because I gotta provide for them. So
Yeah, but
I gotta play the game a little bit.
Not me. I know.
What are you doing?
As soon as I get the money, I'm getting a van like that. My mural's gonna be like Barbarella.
Barbarian women everywhere.
Yeah, it's gonna be tight. Get it right, booty tight. Be living in there, watching the internet on my 24-inch TV. I'll have a waterbed.
You can probably get a 32-inch in there.
Still have a waterbed, even though that shit's hell out of style. I don't care. It's my sex van.
Every sex van has a waterbed.
Hell yeah, and then like a mirror ball that descends from the ceiling.
From somewhere.
And then boom, right when you're starting to feel excited from the old English 40s we've been drinking, Papa's Rodeo comes on, get you in the mood. Yeah.
And that's when the mirror ball descends.
And yeah, let's talk about shitty fucking football guy. I wish his story wasn't in the movie at all. I don't care about that dude at all.
I gotta have a story and I gotta fill up time.
I guess.
It's just really loose. Everything is just kind of cobbled together.
Yeah,
which is kind of a problem with a lot of movies we watch. But
yeah, they're just really like beat bopping their way through this one. You know what I mean? Like Roger Corman.
Yeah, but they're beat bopping it like Riff does. Kind of rhythmlessly.
Yeah, I don't like it. So the football guy, I don't think he needs to be in the movie. I don't care about his story one bit, except for his cool ass van. Yeah, and his story is just not important. It's just doesn't matter. We don't even really need Kate Rambeau. Really, she just be, PJ. She just be Riff's friend a little bit. Just all the friend stuff in it. We don't need the side story of her and football chump.
How do you fill up the? Because now this movie is 50 minutes long. So what do you do with?
You just let it be 50 minutes. Let it ride.
Just roll it again.
Yeah, that's all the kids need. You just double feature that shit with like Prom Night. The movie Prom Night, not like on prom. Okay, well, yeah, why not, man? Who cares? It's 79. There are no rules. 50 minutes, feature length. Man, just pad it out with more performances. Get another band in there. Have the Germs in it.
They did pad it out. There's already about 20 minutes of performances in it.
Yeah, I don't think you could have the Germs in it, though. Riff Randall, what do you think?
As far as?
She's cool, right? She's the coolest girl in the school.
No, I think the one of her bland friends that has no personality is the coolest girl in school. There's only she and Kate are only people with any personality.
Yeah,
I mean Eddie and yeah.
Well, so I hate the clothes she wears because
Kate or Riff
Randall.
I thought you said she had a cool style 2 seconds ago.
I mean, it's cool for what it is, but I hate that. Well, first of all, I hate that the budget was so shitty that she just had to buy them herself. That fucking
right.
sucks.
And also, it's not like really like it doesn't look right to me.
She doesn't look punk. She looks like that '80s shit where people who didn't understand punk were like, I don't know, put like extra socks on or something. You know what I mean?
Just put some paper clips in it.
Yeah. So like that bothers me about it, but I do appreciate that she just kind of brought her own style into it. And I guess she's not specifically supposed to be punk anyway. She just loves rock and roll. And Sage Will, the Ramones, they're basically, that's rock and roll, right? It's just sucking power chords and having a good time.
Well, God gave rock and roll to you. God gave rock and roll to everyone.
No, I believe it was Black Americans. And then Elvis took it.
Touche. Hey,
Yeah.
can I, every time I think of a song, I think of it, how are they going to make a sequel to Bill and Ted based on the ending of Bill and Ted 2? Have we ever talked about this?
No, we haven't. But yeah, they at the end of it is them with their babies, and they're like rock gods, and like the world's a utopia, right?
Right.
Huh. I guess something else goes wrong in the timeline. They have to go back and fix it. It'd be nice to see them as like rock and roll kings, like these old men.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure that's what they're gonna do. But the big problem is George Carlin's dead.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if I want to see a movie like George Carlin.
Well, who's gonna come back to the future and tell them they need to do a thing? I hope they replace him with Rip Torn. Wait, is Rip Torn dead?
I think Rip Torn died like a year ago, didn't he?
A couple years ago.
God damn it.
Damn, we can't even have Rip Torn in it.
Fucking death won't stop me from being in a goddamn movie.
Maybe Laura Dern, because her name kind of rhymes with Rip Torn, like a slant rhyme.
Maybe Brewster. Oh wait, did he die too?
How are they gonna? I'm excited to see. I didn't.
You know what? It's gonna be what's I don't know. I got nobody.
Yeah, I didn't care about the new Bill and Ted sequel at all until just now, and I was like, wait a minute, how are they gonna do stuff? Now I'm curious. What could it be? It's like a Marvel movie. Damn, how are they gonna get Ant-Man in it? Oh, he'll just have his own movie and show up. Okay. The thing I like about Riff Randall is she's the only level-headed student at that school. So there's a scene where Kate's like, I have to do a science project or whatever, and she's like, fucking high school's not gonna matter in like 6 months. You're really gonna miss the Ramones so you can do some fucking high school bullshit?
Well, no. I mean, like, to a certain extent, she's right. Like, 1 day, 3 days, honestly, like 2 weeks are not gonna matter. But like, if you don't graduate high school, that shit will matter in 6 years. I mean, you can get your GED, but it's still gonna affect you and shit.
Yeah, but fucking, she's talking about missing like.
No, she's absolutely right about that. Like, fucking just go to the Ramones. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, I mean, little did she know at the time that the Ramones would continue touring all over the place nonstop until 1996, so there'd be plenty of time to see the Ramones again. But she didn't know that in '79. All right. That also made me think while I was watching it, like how I could never have kids. Probably mostly because of the emotional problems I have, and I would probably not want to pass them on and stuff. But also because it would be really hard for me, because I know it's important. It's not like really important to your psyche or your soul, so to speak, but it is important for your child to be able to succeed in society in some way, and that would require me to tell my kids a lot of bullshit that I don't actually believe. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. It's like, I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but like, I try to keep everything in perspective, you know. And I know that sounds weird, but like, you just got to explain to kids, like, yeah, this shit is kind of bullshit sometimes, but if you want to make it, you gotta play the game sometimes, and it fucking sucks. And I mean, the reality, you can have too much perspective, because the fucking reality of it is none of this really fucking matters. And 5 years after I'm dead, it won't matter a goddamn thing what I did, really.
Well, yeah, that's
probably unless I'm like a really fucking but
the very macro level, right? Where it's like, no, there is no purpose to anything. Yeah. Like, I was just thinking more like if my kid was like, "Hey, can I just skip school for like a week to wait in line to get tickets to go see fucking whatever?"
No, I'm like, fucking, it's 2020, motherfucker. Buy them online. You can skip the day of the concert.
Well, I was thinking, this is after the fall of Western civilization. We don't have the internet.
I don't think we got to worry about concerts. Hey, can I go down to the fighting pits to see Glackanar take on the Bloody Baron?
That school's all propaganda anyways.
No, literally, it will be propaganda.
Yeah, it'll
we're living in a fucking Nazi empire.
Well, I mean, it's kind of propagandizing
I've
now,
seen
but it'll be open propaganda.
Superman goes to sleep for 100 years. He wakes up and the Nazis are taking over.
How could this be? Right, we're seeing it right now, but fascism can creep in quick. Speaking of fascism creeping in quick, let's talk about the sequel, 1991, Rock and Roll High School Forever. Those rambunctious kids are back in school and back in trouble in a smash sequel to the 1978 worldwide hit. Also,
I've never heard this. I'm pulling it right now.
It was 79, and I don't think it was a hit.
No.
But Corey Feldman leads a rock and roll rally at Ronald Reagan High. I like that they called it Ronald Reagan High this time.
Oh, like the Ramones are not associated with this at all?
Oh, no. He must triumph over the evil plans of the school's fascist principal, Vader, who wants to halt the school dance.
Wait, is it Big Van Vader?
Well, it's Vadar. Maybe it's Vidar.
Oh.
Well,
damn, you got me excited for a second. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll watch this movie.
No. This is straight to video trash.
Time. It's time. It's Vader time.
Oh, no, the principal Vader is played by the same lady who did Togar, but just some reason playing a different character. Yeah.
Well, obviously she went crazy, escaped the mental institution, and had to change her name.
I mean, that makes sense. None of the characters refer to her that way or make any mention of it. But
obviously, because they don't know.
Eagle Bauer's there.
Oh God, Eagle Bauer's there. Is Clint Howard back?
It's not Clint Howard though.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, she's the only one who returned, but they did have some returning characters just played.
Well, then I'm in my head. That's going to be Eagle Bauer the second, Eagle Bauer's son.
Yeah, so it's straight to video. This is the twilight of Corey Feldman's career,
and it's been all Twilight since then.
No, when is he releasing that documentary about the Hollywood pedophiles?
Oh yeah, it's a sad one.
It is. Let's not joke about it any further. Unlike the first movie, this film has no music by the Ramones, but it does feature many Ramones posters hidden throughout the movie, and the song "Cut Me to Pieces," which was co-performed by Dee Dee Ramone. I mean.
Didn't get one of Dee Dee's rap hits?
King Dee Dee, all right? Don't forget it. So what do you think? I like Rock and Roll High School. It's a fun movie to watch. It's not a good movie, but it's fun.
No, it's fun. 100%.
I wasn't I wasn't expecting to walk away with a little bit of a crush on PJ Souls, but...
I mean, I had a little bit for a hot second, and then as soon as I saw her dancing around, I'm like, oh, you know what? Never mind.
Yeah, it does kind of ruin it, but the scene in her bedroom is cool. My favorite part of it is not her in her underwear. It's when she opens the shower and Dee's in there just getting showered on. It's like, oh, that's weird.
My favorite part is like when the Ramones show up at the concert venue for some reason, and they're like rolling up and they're in the back of their car playing the drums, and he's eating a fucking turkey leg for some fucking reason.
Yeah, oh man,
the line hasn't been on the sign. There's a line in the song about a chicken leg.
Yeah, because I mean, there's rowdy and rambunctious boys. I love it. I think it's cute, but it's just like, I love waiting in line and the band performs in the line for everyone.
That's happened so many times to me.
Yeah, I met fucking Doomtree in line to see Doomtree.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't particularly like Doomtree. I just went with friends. I don't want to be one of those guys, but I don't know if I like it when white people rap.
Yeah.
Except for Mac Miller. Rest in peace, Mac Miller. I do like Mac Miller.
I still like the Beastie Boys.
The Beastie Boys are cool. They're also they're day ones, Let's talk about the Ramones now that we've sufficiently talked about how good Rock and Roll High School is. It's worth watching. I mean, you're in quarantine right now. You ain't got shit to do. You want to watch something fun? Rock and Roll High School. PJ Souls is a QT 3.14. The Ramones are goofy. It's got mouse people in it. I don't know. It's like fucking Grease, but
it's like a weird, not quite very good Roger Waters movie.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you could, I feel like you could double feature this with Hairspray.
Well, maybe not Hairspray.
That's fucking
something not as good as Hairspray.
The original Hairspray that John Waters made, I think the production value is on the same.
Yeah,
par.
I guess that's true.
Hairspray is of course going to end up being a better movie and a better musical.
I feel like it fits better with Cry Baby.
No, I just feel like
maybe you're right. Hairspray does have this. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, I just feel like Cry Baby or Hairspray and Rock and Roll High School have they're closer together in when they were produced and closer together in budget
production value.
Yeah, so they'll have a visual similarity that will fit. I don't know. I guess you could do Cry Baby. You could do Hairspray, then Rock and Roll High School, then Cry Baby. There you go. I just planned your Saturday night for you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Do acid.
Yeah, and do acid with John Waters if you can. I don't know if he hangs out with people anymore. He seems like he's kind of reclusive in his old age.
Yeah, that's my plan too.
Yeah,
oh, man.
He is quite a man. I think I mentioned before, he's one of the pillars of masculinity to me is John Waters. But the Ramones, like I said, not a very punk band. Joey seems likely to be the only member of the band that was left wing. Probably aside from Arturo Vega, who is the fifth Ramone. He did all their art design and stuff. He kind of took care of Joey and Dee Dee back in the day. Johnny Ramone is a bitch. I fucking hate Johnny Ramone.
Everyone hates Johnny Ramone.
Yeah. Tommy doesn't seem as outright.
Except for his wife.
Yeah.
Joey's
girlfriend. Tommy doesn't seem to be out and out as crazy evil as Johnny is, but he does seem to just be a businessman, which not punk. And then Dee Dee is also supposedly weirdly conservative despite being a junkie.
And probably maybe gay?
Bisexual, for sure. So if you read the lyrics to 53rd and 3rd, which is about him trying to turn tricks, then there's immediately the part where he's like, then I took out my razor blade and he killed the guy. He was the John, and to prove he wasn't a sissy, right? And then it's like, that's a thread that goes throughout most of Dee Dee's life, where he'll sleep with men, sleep with women. A lot of people just assume it's because of junkie lifestyle, blah blah. I think it's probably because he's bisexual, but obviously the time period where he came from, where he grew up, all that sort of stuff is not something he could ever admit. And then one of his final interviews a couple months before he died of heroin overdose, he basically like said he felt like he wasted his life. So I think that might have something to do with it. And also, drug use for his entire adult life. So Dee Dee's a little bit of a sad character. I still love Dee Dee. Dee Dee's probably my favorite Ramone. Even if he's maybe weirdly conservative, he didn't ever express any like super crazy opinions. He just...
as long as you keep your weird conservatism to yourself, I can kind of be okay with you.
Yeah, as long as you don't use it as a weapon against other people, then all right, cool. I'm not going to police your thoughts, I guess. Just, keep them to yourself. Don't bother other people with them.
You've mentioned a couple of Ramones. How do you feel about Richie Ramone, though? Or what are the fucking rotating members I had after that?
Oh, so Marky Ramone's the only other member of the Ramones that I consider really a member of the Ramones, their second drummer. He's all right. He's in the Voidoids. He's like a little bit more like actually street New York City kid, so that's cool. He had problems with Joey, so that sucks. He seems like he might have been like a little fucking stuck up conservative, like piss baby too, but haven't heard too many terrible things about Marky. And then the other CJ, the guy that replaced Dee Dee, fuck that guy. No one can replace Dee Dee. And what is he? Richie, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. He was.
There was another one too. I don't remember his name, but
yeah, they had different drummers, but only Tommy and Marky count, I think. The Ramones have this image, especially back when they first came out. Like one of the stories is when the Sex Pistols, John Lydon, Johnny Rotten, first went to see Ramones in England. He asked to meet the band, and he was worried that they're going to beat him up because the Ramones had this image like they were a tough gang from the Bowery or the Bronx.
Well, I mean, I'm sure the English that might be the image they have too of a lot of people from New York.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, the fucking certain members of the Clash and Sex Pistols, like the fucking working class street kids, that were in it, like they were way tougher than Ramones. You know what I mean? But what are you
talking about? Like a suburbs of Queens? Aren't that?
Yeah, so let's talk about the Forest Hills, Queens. I just chose like a very specific, some relative to the time period to give you like kind of a portrait of what Forest Hills, Queens is about, to dismiss any myth of the Ramones being tough street kids. And also, I think. I appreciate the Ramones stopping in every city and creating punk bands in their wake. I think punk got a lot better when it got into the hands of like working class Californians and shit.
1, 2, 3, nuke HB. Let's see what he has to say.
Who?
Dwayne Peters.
Dwayne Peters. Oh, he thinks Timothy McVeigh was framed now. Yeah, well, you
either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Well, the thing with Dwayne Peters is he's been a drug addict his entire life, right? And then he cleaned himself up for a few years, and then his son died really young.
I think we talked about this. This is a depressing episode. Happy Easter, everyone.
He completely fell apart, and I think that's where he's at now, which, I mean, I don't know. I feel bad for him more than anything. But Forest Hills, Queens, 1972. Broken glass. Forest Hills, Queens.
Broken glass everywhere.
Forest Hills, Queens is a wealthy white suburb, apparently. 72. Residents protested against Forest Hills houses, a proposed public housing development with 3 24-story buildings at 62nd Drive and 108th Street. Middle-class residents believe the public housing would depreciate the community's quality of life because poor residents would move into the housing. Advocates for the project accurately accused residents of racism, since the proposed development's residents would be mostly people of minority races. So there you go. That's the kind of place Forest Hills is. It's keep it
Staten
white.
Island of Queens.
Yeah. Mayor John Lindsay garnered significant opposition due to his controversy surrounding Forest Hills houses. And that hero of New York, the greatest dynasty to ever grace New York.
Here we go.
The patriarch himself, Mario Cuomo, a lawyer and the future governor of New York, was assigned to mediate the dispute. And luckily, he successfully succeeded in having the size of the project. Cuomo's rule.
Well, I mean, everybody got what they wanted, you know.
Well, I just like the way it's written, where he succeeded in completely having the project, which goes along with the Cuomo's rule over New York for the entire dynasty. Looking good on TV while cutting Medicaid. Take that, coronavirus. That man should be president. He seems good on TV.
That's basically all it takes. Yeah. I don't know if you paid attention to fucking American history.
Yeah, I fucking hate it. We talk about on podcasts all the time. I hate it.
I mean, honestly, it's just fucking. That's people. I don't know how you fucking change that.
But I don't know.
Monkeys are like, ooh, look at the other monkey. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just gonna keep complaining about it, though. I don't got anything else I
don't blame you. I'm just like, fuck, I don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just tell more.
You just need to. What the problem is, we just need to get the right monkey up there, the right charming monkey.
Yeah, we need a tricky one, a real clever one, a real clever politician who supports my views. Vermin Supreme.
I don't know. I'm gonna call him a clever politician.
His satire is pretty good, I guess, but it's not going to work with like the general public.
No.
One interesting thing I want to point out about the Ramones, is it's probably just coincidence, but so Joey died from lymphoma.
Oh yeah, the cancer thing.
Yeah, Johnny died from prostate cancer. Arturo Vega also died from cancer. And
was Arturo Vega also from Forest Hills, Queens?
It was from around the same area, yeah.
What's the cancer rate in that area?
And Tommy from bile duct cancer. That's what I was thinking. Is like, what was going on there that so many people got cancer? Dee Dee died from heroin overdose, but presumably cancer probably would have got him.
It was a race between heroin and cancer.
Mm-hmm. Heroin always wins. I think he might have wanted to die. If you read the book he wrote, The Chelsea Horror Hotel, where he meets with like dead punk rockers and stuff like that and tries to score heroin, seems like he's kind of
on his way out.
Yeah, he's kind of done. And then, like I said, that last interview before his death, where he's just, I'll bring that up again because Dee Ramone was like, I was in a band. It was a rock and roll band. It is what it is. I feel like my life was a waste. What I want to bring up is, so when I was a kid, I was pretty weird, but it was like cute at the time, right? Because it was just, everyone in my family knows I'm weird. It's cool. It's okay to be weird. No big deal. But then when I started to get, adolescence, like 12, 13 or so, which is a hard time for everyone, I kind of realized like, oh, I'm weird. Like people don't understand me. And it was starting to cause problems for me emotionally. Like I was having trouble with it. But thanks to punk rock, not specifically the Ramones, but more like Rancid, AFI, The Clash, like the early punk bands I was getting into, I was able to turn it around where it was like, nah, I'm not bad because I'm weird. It's actually you people who operate in normative behavior are actually uncool. Like if you want to be cool, you have to be like me. If you want to come in, you have to come into my world to like understand it and to be cool. So I was able to turn it around. I guess it's like sort of egotistical behavior, and I still
but it's also like a way of protecting yourself too.
Yeah, and
like
I still
outside world. So I mean, like it's not necessarily I don't know if it's the best coping mechanism, but like it's not the worst one either.
Yeah, but so that was my coping mechanism at the time, and I still perpetuate it now. Now I just happen to have more philosophy and political understanding and nuance to it. Like my understanding of it is different now. It's more of intellectualized of why I think being part of the norm is a negative, and it can be dangerous when it comes to groupthink and all sorts of things like that. But it was a coping mechanism that I developed, and punk rock helped me do it. I'm gonna say probably saved my life. I don't know how bad it would have gotten in high school if I didn't have punk rock. So with that said, fuck
you got into reggae.
No, I doubt that. With that said, fuck you, Dee Dee Ramone. Rest in power. The Ramones are great. Thank you for existing. Thanks for creating punk rock. Your life wasn't a waste, man. Yeah, I guess mostly I was just stating the importance of punk rock to me.
Right.
And then as I became an adult and I got older, I developed like other mechanisms to sort of sanitize my personality so I could fit in at jobs and shit. And I'm pretty good at that. But whatever, it all worked out for me. And then
I hope not.
And then I don't know. I'd like to think now that thanks to punk rock and my initial like attitudes about what is cool and defining your own idea of cool and accepting yourself and that sort of thing, I think it led to me being a very charismatic person now, or so I'd like to believe.
I mean, I honestly think that's important for anybody to develop their own sense of what, what, I don't know if cool's the right word, but like, what's important to them, what's cool, what they care about, and not worry so much about what everybody else is interested in, or even if they think you're weird or hate your shit, just like, fuck it.
Yeah, that's absolutely not my mentality now, but I just, 12 or 13 as an adolescent, which, like I said, that's a tough time for anyone.
No, but I mean, I do think that's like that's kind of an important like trait to have a little bit, to develop it a little bit, to not care about if people don't like the shit you're into.
Oh yeah, I'm just glad I developed it like as early as I did.
Right. I mean,
lots of people,
everybody gets to.
Most people get to that point. I think it just seems that, from anecdotal evidence, it just seems to take longer. I'm just glad that there was like an outside influence, punk rock specifically, that came along, and I was able to absorb it and understand it at the like a low enough level, or I guess not even low level, like a organic level and intrinsic level, where I was like, oh, wait a minute, it doesn't matter what other people say, I'll just do what I want. And they have to, like, if they want to, like, people have to like come in, they have to approach me and like come to my world.
Right. Like you're like a vampire.
Well, it still is kind of the case, honestly. Like I said, I can get along very well publicly. I'm a good public speaker and all this shit now, but like there's not very many people that actually know me. You know what I mean? That's about it.
And dogs.
It worked great for me, like in my 20s when I was like partying and like had loose morals and stuff. But like the older I've gotten, is like the less I'm interested in like meaningless sex and stuff. And so like now I just want to have like committed partners and stuff like that. But on the flip side of it is, it's like gotten even harder for me to open up and be close to people. So it's like a double-edged sword. We're like, I don't ever meet anyone or want to open up to anyone, so now I'll just be alone forever, I guess.
Yeah. After this quarantine gets up, you need to join like a weird thing, like a reading group or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, that's another problem too. Is that as the older I've gotten, the less and less and less I've cared about what other people think is cool and good, and it's all just about like what's interesting to me. So now I have like a really weird set of interests.
I feel like I have a lot of diverse set of interests, like generally, like, but my media interests are very specific. Like I don't really watch a lot of movies. I don't watch TV shows at all unless like my kids are watching it or my wife is. Like there's not a TV show that I've sat down purposely to watch.
Tiger King.
No, I mean I watched like his core wanted to.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I got into it.
Cool,
but,
yeah.
But I honestly can't think of when I sat down and watched in a long time. Whatever, fuck it. I got nothing else to do. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I read a lot, and like that doesn't seem like.
You can't talk to people about books.
I know. No one fucking reads. I had to join the reading group, the book club.
You can't talk to people about books. Are you crazy? You gotta talk about the new Netflix series.
I don't know. I started reading The Witcher because of the Netflix series, but
yeah, but no one cares about the books. They only care about that shitty song.
It's a coin. There's flipping coins, right? You're flipping a coin to them.
Well, just like I said, I don't know. That one didn't get as weird as I thought, but
maybe next time. There's always next time.
There's plenty of time for me to descend further and further into hopelessness. And it's not even hopelessness. I'm just
general hysteria,
like extreme yearning. It's like I'm like hungry for something, but I don't know what I want, and I'm thirsty, but I'm not. There's something I want, and I can't figure out what it is that I want, or like how to get it, or what's gonna fix it. So
it's blood.
Yeah, and it's like it's not a foreign feeling to me. This is like something animalistic, Like there's an absolute necessity something that's missing. You know what I mean? Like
it's blood.
Yeah, it might be blood. Well, my example is gonna be like, when you're low on iron and you're like, oh, I really want like fucking.
That's what I'm saying, blood.
Yeah. Maybe it is blood because like lately I've been like, man, I really need a michelada. I need that tomato juice. I need some iron. We have iron deficiency. Just need some blood. You can drink a little bit.
You can drink a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, what are we watching next week?
Next week we will be watching Violent Cop.
Violent Cop.
It's a pretty good movie, but mostly it's an excuse for us to learn a lot about Beat Takeshi.
Well, that's always a good thing.
Yeah, you're actually quite familiar with him, and you're not even aware of why.
Why?
Well, you'll have to wait until next week to find out.
Okay. I'm excited.
Yes. Oh, it's an alright movie. This was not his best, but it'll be fun to talk about. And maybe next week I'll be back with some more recommendations of Japanese movies you can watch. But watch Our Little Sister in 37 seconds.
Next week there'll be all hentai movies.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows what I'll be into next week? Who knows how far it'll go?
You get Bollywood. You're gonna get into Bollywood shit.
There's been plenty of times where I've been meaning to get into Bollywood, and like
it's not my thing. I'm not a big fan of like musicals anyway, so there's too much singing in it.
I'd rather get into Bollywood, like the Nigerian action films. I watched a few of
those crazy ones.
Yeah, I watched
the weird ass special effects.
I like those just because that's the shit I like. I like anything that's like from the mud, from the dirt. You know what I mean? It's just out of the desire to do it, and you find a way to do it. Punk rock. Hollywood, that's that shit. It's that real shit. Get it out the mud, just like Kevin Gates said. Yeah. As far as hentai goes,
returned.
I've always like, there's been tons of times where I've like checked out hentai just to see, and it's not for me. I appreciate like the art form and what goes into it and stuff, but it's like, nah, not for me. I think mostly the big problem is like I'm not really like into like the rape fetish stuff, and there's a lot of rape in hentai. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. So I won't be watching hentai this week, I don't think. As soon as I get that Donald Trump check, I'll be having a Warlock van.
I think it's going to cost more than that.
More than $1,200?
I mean, I think, yeah. I mean, if you want it to run.
Shit. Well, I don't need it to run.
Just park it in the backyard.
Yeah, I just need it to look good.
Put a hibachi outside.
Invite some ladies over. PJ Souls.
Alright, I really have to go. I'm going to piss my pants, I think.
Alright, that's it. VHS Cult. Goodbye.
VHS Cult.